Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here yet again at WILDMAN Lifts. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now on today's episode, I'm going to be doing the deadlift in giant set format, and I'm also going to be doing the stones as well, so I'm very excited about this night's workout. It's a very warm evening, and as I'm going along in the workout, I'm going to also be discussing a secret tip that I like to give my clients, and I use myself when I'm going for a 1 rep max. And it doesn't have to be just a 1 rep max, it could be a 2, 3, 5, 6 rep max, but it's a tip that I like to use in order to ensure that I hit it. So let's pop into the workout and I'll explain how I like to use this secret tip to hit a 1 rep max. Now for today's giant set, I'm doing stones, working up to a 1 rep max on the deadlift, and I'm also doing some bar facing burpees and some running in between. And by the time I'm done running with all of my sets, I'm going to be running 1 mile, a cumulative of running. Now here's the secret that I want to share with you when you're about to go for a 1 rep max. Load the bar differently than you do in training. Now in America, the most common way that people will load up the barbell is they'll load up 45 plates, maybe 25-pound plates after that, take off the 25-pound plates and then put the 45s on. And then they just keep going like that until they get to their desired 1 rep max. So my secret is to switch it up. I like to tell clients if their max, let's say, is 405 pounds on the deadlift, and they typically load up with 45s on one side and then 25s and take those off and put 45s on, and they just keep going all the way up till 405, and they want to hit 425 pounds, what I would suggest is loading up the bar 20 pounds more than they do at the beginning of their rep scheme. And that's what I'm doing today. Typically I load up the bar with 45-pound plates, but today the base, which is the first ones I put on, are 55-pound plates. Now I'm gonna load up the barbell with 25s, take them off, add 45s, take them off, but it's always gonna be 20 pounds more than what I typically do in training. So my brain is going to look at the plates and think, oh cool, it should be 365 pounds, let's say. But really it's 385 pounds once I get up to that weight. And that's a good thing for my brain to think, because my brain is still gonna think it's light. I'm gonna move appropriately and fast like it is 365, but really I'm pulling 20 pounds more. This also works if you wanna load the plates up less weight and then load them up the way that you would as you would go up in training with 45s and 25 pounds. The key is when you're going for a 1 rep max, do not load the same way that you would do in training. Typical training programs are 6 weeks to 3 months before you test your 1 rep max. I like to test it more frequently, but that's just me and my style of training. So when I come to the end of a straight training program, I will load the bar differently, whether it's under or over what I typically do. And then when I get up to that weight, my brain will think, for example, when I get to 425, that it's 405. And so my brain thinks, you can hit this. You've hit this for 3 reps before, you're good to go. And then when I pull it, my brain goes, oh wow, that was actually heavier than I thought. But it moves as fast as 405. And this is the secret in order to test your 1 rep max and to possibly hit it every single time at the end of a proven strength training cycle. Now you have to remember, I had bicep surgery not too long ago, and I had to get reattached and I had to go through physical therapy. And I've been building up ever since then. So the fact of the matter is that my bicep is being tested as it goes up in weight as well. Now in my last video where I did a straight deadlift, I did 405 pounds for 2 reps. So the goal was to hit 425 pounds for at least 2 repetitions. And I must say, my loading technique worked very well, because that went up just as fast as 405 did about a month ago. And that second rep was a grinder, and the bicep felt a little weird during the moment, but I hit it. And so I was very happy that everything went very smooth, and the bicep is getting stronger and a lot more comfortable holding heavier weight as I go up. But not only that, my athleticism and my conditioning is also through the roof right now, because that's the most amount of weight that I've hit, and I'm still able to complete my burpees and my running all in between my sets, and that stone lift as well. But now it's time to do something a little bit heavier when it comes to the stones. Now for the variation giant set, I'm gonna go up to stone to shoulders, and I'm gonna move up to that ox stone, which is 192 pounds. But I'm gonna continue to do burpees and running in between. And now this is the second secret I'm gonna give you. This is how you continue to build practical strength and your athleticism. Because as you're doing these very athletic movements and your conditioning, you're doing a very explosive, natural movement with the stone, which is picking something up and getting it to your shoulder. That's awkward and heavy. And if you just keep a fluid pace like your water, just move fluidly and breathe deeply in between each movement, you're going to be building your athleticism, which is your fast twitching fibers and your balance, but you're also building your conditioning as well. And this is also helpful if you're going to be fighting somebody or if you need to control a very stressful situation, because you'll be under fatigue and stress, but you'll just keep going up in strength and athleticism and conditioning. And therefore you'll be able to recover a lot faster because you'll know all the techniques and train like you're in a very stressful situation. Now for the assistant giant set, I was doing 3 rounds and I started with these straight arm lat pull downs. This helps with deadlift, but it also helps getting the bar out of a rack on a bench press. That's why I like to do it. And I'm also doing some weighted sit-ups with a 44-pound kettlebell. I started doing this a while back and I really like how much it carries over to my overall strength, particularly the deadlift because it's the antagonist movement. And I did a 200-meter run, and this was 3 rounds total. So by the time I was done, it was 1 mile of cumulative running. And for my accessory giant set, I was doing a monster dumbbell hold as a static strength hold. And then I would move over to hitchhikers to make sure my shoulder mobility and my back was all even. And then I would do some Nordic hamstring curls to finish off my hamstrings, but also do some explosive chest work as well, kind of like I was doing with the burpees. And this was the total workout for the day. And I must say, it all went very smooth. Well, there you have it. That was a great workout session, and I hope that you learned something new the next time you're going to attempt your 1 rep max. Until next time, thank you.